Permission to come aboard. Welcome, welcome to the Aquaman spoiler movie review. Hopefully, you understand what spoiler means. Meaning that your butt should have seen the movie by now, at least a couple of times. That also means at least you already know what we're going to be discussing. Put a shirt on, you don't want to see the gun show? Sorry about that. Sorry, I'm making y'all want to go to the gym. But I'm in the midst of straightening things up before I step out and start doing my Santa Claus bid. So I decided to spend a little time to talk to y'all. And hook my Blu-ray up in here. See, I got the 4K downstairs. Here, I keep it pretty much theatrical. The girl I date, she's so digital, she don't have a Blu-ray. So I had to take my Blu-ray to her house. And so forth. Now, Aquaman. How many of y'all have watched Aquaman? And you loved Aquaman and loved everything about it? Me, I thought it was amazing. The fight scenes were the best. But I also love the fact of the look of the soldiers when they came to get the Queen, Atlanta. Did you see the color? They almost had like an ocean, like, man, that was bad. That was bad CGI. But yet you come to the spoiler review. Yeah, that was bad, man, when they came to go get her. Now, they gave the illusion to you guys, and I couldn't let you guys know in the original one that she lives, that she is not dead. I knew that going into this, that she would be alive, going through this entire thing. I'm like, well, because I'm smart, James. I'm smart. I'm smart, Mr. Cunningham. I'm smart. Too bad you're not smart. Well, Black Manta, I kind of feel like, the racial undertones about them being a full blood and having him being like spawned because he's mixed, he's a half breed and like, oh, I'm a pure. Well, no, I like the way they did Black Manta. I just wish they did more of him, which I think we will get more of in the sequel. But see, while them trying to use I'm pure and I'm pure blood and you're nothing because you're a half breed, like he's not from the water. They tried to take that element out of it. The beginning sucked. I don't think the beginning sucked that much. I just think it was okay. It didn't blow anybody away, but it was a good setup. There's just certain scenes that were cut out, and it looked like you could see the cuts. Like they like trying to make a cut for time, and they just went with one take and said, "Okay, we got it. Let's go." But it wasn't scenes that were really standing out for the film. This is a film called Aquaman. There's no Mel Streep in Aquaman. No one's gonna be. And for best outstanding performance in a dramatic performance, we have Amber Heard, Aquaman. We really need to go and get that Triton. Yay! Riveting performance. You must save Atlantis. No, I don't. So, to me, the best role went to the character I liked the most was Black Manta, even though, because he came off, I don't know if that was the plot, but he came off as a comic book. I like Black Manta's father, the whole thing. You need to live so you can kill that mother. Get out of here. You need to live so you can kill his ass. Man, I was laughing. I was on the floor when he said that. That doggone missile land on top of him. He couldn't get out of there, man. He was gone. Get out of here. Go on, get out of here. No, get out of here because you need to live. You need to live so you can kill that mother. The actor who played him wasn't good. That's the thing what people are saying, but I don't know if that's the way they made him out to be. I thought he did a pretty good job. It's just that it made it like a comic book. I'm gonna kill Aquaman. It was just like a comic, so it might have been designed to be that. You know. Oh, you talking about the Dolph Lundgren hairpiece? Is that what you talking about? Black Manta. I love the way they had him and how he used the tech to turn it, the gun they gave him, and how he turned that into a suit and went out to Aquaman. And they explained how bombs and weapons didn't work on, like conventional weapons of the land didn't work on Aquaman. Young Aquaman was horrible. Well, young Aquaman probably had about 3 minutes of screen time. What do you all together? They show young Aquaman practicing and training only in thought. So I don't understand how young Aquaman was horrible. William Defoe was William Defoe. His role wasn't really, he was just there to basically train Aquaman. He backed up the king. He really didn't have no role, but Orm. That was James Wan, who's the director, also decided who was going to be the villain. Same thing that Ryan Coogler did, bringing in Michael B. Jordan. That's his guy. Michael B. Jordan is his actor. He directs him. That's his guy. James Wan guy is Patrick Wilson from the Insidious movies. He did all of his movies. So he was like, I got famous using you because you're great. And sure enough, Patrick Wilson was great as Orm, Ocean Master. So Orm is better off by himself anyway, just as Orm. He don't need to be called Ocean nothing. No, he wasn't. Orm wasn't basic to me at all. Orm was what he was supposed to be. He was regal. And they followed a law, they followed order. See, I don't think you guys understand where they're supposed to be. This is the beginning of something. So now that he knows his mother's alive, Black Manta's gonna be in the sequel. They're already saying that Aquaman's getting a sequel and did really good internationally. They did about almost 200 million internationally before we even got the film. Creed is set to debut in China, the first Rocky movie ever to be seen in China. That is huge. Now, Black Manta, Black Manta is gonna show his face again only in a rerun. No, I'm just kidding. But he'll be in the next one. William Defoe, yes, his character was basic. You're absolutely correct about that. Was nothing really special about him. He was just there to bridge the film around and give it some art, having the elder statesman, someone who could teach. Jason Momoa's character is Iron Man. Oh yeah, didn't know I had skills like that. So permission to come aboard. He is Aquaman. Jason Momoa played. He owned that role. It was funny when it needed to be. It was sharp when it needed to be. Even the fight scenes was amazing. Even the fight in the house when they came to get Atlanta, that was dope. Average at best. I didn't think it was average at all. It had some adventure to it. You got to see certain areas and lands and escapes that you didn't see. The world under the ocean was great. It looked like a Marvel movie. This was the first DC movie that I say kind of reminded me of a Marvel movie all the way through. Now, I rated it a lot higher. I mean, it wasn't well written, like as far as the dialogue, but it didn't need to be like that. Jason Momoa was playing Jason Momoa. Absolutely. You didn't need him to be nothing else. I don't want to see him being a white guy named Aquaman. I need to see Jason Momoa be Jason Momoa as Aquaman. Do people pay money to see Jason Statham be nothing but the transporter? No, he's the transporter in everything he plays. Who pays money to see Vin Diesel be nobody but Vin Diesel? No matter what he's in. Yeah, you must have saw it at the generic hood movie store or whatever. I don't know what you seen it in. I seen it in IMAX, 3D. Blew me away. Wrong. Jason Statham was not Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis was not as athletic as Jason Statham. Jason Statham is a martial artist. He's a professional diver, high diver. He tried to qualify for the Olympics. And before he even made action films, he made drama films with Guy Ritchie. Before he did Snatch, he had the movie Two Loaded Barrels, Shotguns. All origin stories of superhero movies come the same way. If you look at the Spider-Man story of this one, Spider-Man story here, the one that's out now, the Into the Spideyverse, is the same thing as Aquaman. Both of these people have responsibilities, they have powers, they don't want to be involved, basically. And then they run from the responsibility, then they run towards the responsibility. But I thought it looked pretty good. I thought it did pretty well. The fight scene at the end, it falls into the same narrative that we've been seeing a lot, where you fighting the alter ego of yourself. Black Panther did the same thing. Michael B. Jordan's alter ego of T'Challa, same thing. They're fighting each other. Thor and Loki. And now you got Aquaman and Orm, same thing. They're both fighting. They the same things. Iron Man and Obadiah, two Iron Mans going at it. Then you had the same thing in Iron Man 2, two Iron Mans going at it. So it was the same rendition we have seen over and over again. Yes, it's a good Marvel DC movie. It's a DC movie that reminds you of a Marvel movie. So when you see it, you go, what? It's like, yep, you have a DC Marvel movie. DC, the way they used to make films were more darker. That's why when you hear Deadpool say, you're pretty dark. You sure you're not from the DC universe? But they started to see that the only dark movies that were going to make money for Marvel was Batman. Because Batman is dark. Because Batman is dark. But you cannot make all your films like you make Batman. The Justice League is not Batman. So it did not need to be dark. Now, of course, that movie missed its mark. I love how somebody who saw me way over there talking about some, you ignoring me. I'm like, I'm over there. You see me over there. What in the world are you talking about? You're ignoring me. Now, I wanted to see more with the kingdom of those people. I guess I got to read the comics to get it. I didn't read a lot of Aquaman comics, but I like how they stayed true to the fact that it's some of the people that's in the ocean, they can't breathe on land and water. Some of them can. but the others, they can't. Some of them, they need to have themselves in water at all times. And I thought that was really funny. And the dude had to put his head in the toilet. That was beyond funny. And I thought that was great that they had that in there. They had suits to keep the water in there so that they can go on land. And it's based off the story of reality. Atlantis supposedly is a city that is buried underwater because this used to be Atlantis. And Atlantis got buried underwater. Before this place was called Atlanta, it was called, America. Parts of this was called Atlantis. And Atlantis broke off like when everything else broke off. All the pieces didn't just break at once. It took years and years and years for things to break apart. And Atlantis, what they called Atlantis, where all that stuff is, they broke off and became its own island and got covered up, and it's underwater somewhere. People have been underwater looking for Atlantis ever since. That's the theory. So Atlantis is sucking the ocean. And they said the gods suck it because they got arrogant and did things that they shouldn't have done, and they sunk Atlantis and it's full of riches and all this stuff. So they played off the theme of that, Atlantis, the underwater city where Aquaman lives or where he's from. But one thing's for sure, the scavengers, thieves that Black Manta, whose whole family seem to be, they're in cahoots with Orem and the people of Atlantis. I thought that was pretty interesting. But you guys have a Merry Christmas. I'm glad I was able to talk to you guys before I leave out. I'll probably talk to y'all in the car. Thank y'all for enjoying the video and supporting Screen Fiend. I'm out.